Little here, pro staff for Wilderness Systems Kayaks, and I'm out here on the river today with my favorite boat thus far. It keeps changing because we keep making better boats because we have really good feedback from the pro staff that feeds into our product developers. This is one that I had a hand in. This is the Wilderness Systems ATAK, and I'm going to give you a bow to stern of what has become my favorite boat. Up here I am running an anchor off the front, and I have a Attack Mighty Mount and a little ram ball and a pulley. So I'm able to drop this anchor off the front, and I can pull it up right here. I have a little cleat here. There's a little zigzag cleat, and that goes back to, I've done this on a lot of different boats. This is a retractable anchor spool, a retractable clothesline spool I put my anchor line on. And that makes a very neat way to gather your anchor line. Just something I made on my own. It's not the only way that I keep the boat still. I can anchor off the front, but I also have something on the back called the river stick. River stick back here, something that my buddy Bernie Stewart makes in his garage in York, Pennsylvania. This is the line that I just let go, and Matt lets it go down, and it wedges in the bottom of the river. And then when I want to bring it back up, I just slide that up and I cinch it in there. Real nice lightweight way to use that sort of pole style anchoring system. Let's see, we'll go to this hatch here. I do stand in the boat a good bit, and I use the paddle part here. You can just take the paddle and slide it in there. Underneath, you have this this hatch up front. I actually used this yesterday. Today I just have a spare battery in it, but yesterday I had a 30-inch flathead catfish in there that I kept for dinner, and about a 21-inch walleye. So all kinds of good things you can use that storage for. This is the pod. So this is the pod that the boat comes with, and this is one actually that I had set up for my thresher, which is nice because now I can take my depth finder and move it from the thresher to the ATAK. And this one I set up really by putting all my wires on the inside there, and you can see I have my depth finder battery there. And because I take on some really rough water out on the Chesapeake Bay, just to make sure I didn't get any water in here, I went ahead and installed the weather stripping there. I just kind of duct tape that in place. That way when I can tighten this down, screw that in. I won't do it all the way. It's got a nice tight fit. So what this hood does that I put on there, and it's just, I just got some plastic material and kind of duct tape it in place, is it blocks the sun. It does actually two things. It blocks the sun so that when I'm looking at this screen, there isn't the sun glare on it. There isn't the, I don't have to turn up the intensity so high that it drains my battery. Also, it keeps a lot of the, especially in the saltwater conditions, it keeps the splatter from there. A lot of times if you have the salt water splattering on that surface, you get a lot of water droplets. It can really make it difficult to see what you're looking at. So you can make one of these just going to the hardware store and getting, I actually found it in the section of the hardware store that has all the for sale and rent signs. They sell this kind of plastic material there, and you can cut it out to fit your depth finder screen. Give yourself a nice hood like that. I do have the Torpedo on this boat. The motor is a really nice way to move around the river here, especially when you're fishing some of these ledges. I kind of zoom back and forth. I just finished a month-long online tournament where the major pattern I was using was to throw crankbaits, and the crankbaits are getting stuck. It's really nice to not have to pick up the paddle, one-hand paddle to get over to it and get it free. All I did was throttle up the throttle here, and I'm actually steering with my feet. I got cables set up to go back to actually steer it with my feet, and really makes for really nice fishing. I make a lot more casts because I have the motor than I would if I were paddling the whole time. Right here I have the Torpedo in the up position. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the rock guard. I've had this rock guard on the Torpedo on a couple other boats, but this is really what helps protect the prop. I know the Skeg does a good bit, and having it mounted on the back, it'll lift up. So that's just an extra level of protection for the propeller here. As you move back, we have the Air Pro Max seat. We have the low position or the high. Most of the time I just keep it in the high position. It's nice because you're up high enough, you can reach behind you and really access your gear reaching down into it as opposed to up and over. It really does make any of the gear that you have back here more accessible being higher. One of those little details that makes it a nicer boat. I put in 6 flush mount rod holders, 3 on each side, and then I have the 3 on the ATAK black pack here. So I'm able to carry 9 rods. A little bit excessive, but that's how I roll, I guess. I do have this, we have this hatch in the back here for more storage. You can keep like a spare paddle in there, a couple rods or whatever you need in there. Stuff that you're maybe not needing as accessible. If you need something that's accessible as you're fishing, you want to use the storage in the front there. Wilderness Systems ATAK 140. Perfect fishing machine.